Hello, Mary Suvians! I am here with a very special guest. We have Rob Benedict in the house. You guys may know him as God on Supernatural, but you've got a new show out.
Yes. On the 15th of November, we have a show called Kings of Con that is premiering on Comic-Con HQ.
Comic-Con, okay. So tell me about the premise of this show.
Okay, so Richard Speight Jr. and I, who have worked on Supernatural, we started doing the Supernatural conventions like 8-9 years ago, and that show's still going, and it's stronger, as strong as ever, with such a solid, great, loyal, loving fan base, right? So we have these conventions now. We do about 18 to 20 a year.
Wow.
And so we met each other on the convention circuit because we never actually worked together on the show. And just over the years, traveling the world, we've compiled a lot of stories of just shenanigans on the road. And at one point, we said, this should be a show. So we started to write it, and the premise is that it's about the behind the scenes at fan conventions. That at these conventions, the craziest people in the room are the actors paid to be there.
So that's the flipping the narrative right there.
Yeah. I mean, because really, truly, when you go to these conventions, you find that the fans are all such smart, well put together people. They're doctors and lawyers and teachers and just great people. We go around these meet and greets, Rich and I, and we're like, what do you do for a living? And everybody around the table is like, I'm, helping homeless people. I'm searching for a cure for this. Or no joke. And it comes around to us, and we're like, I'm an actor. I get paid to dance around and stuff. So
does that knock the ego down a little bit?
Yeah, the ego is never too high as it was, but it's a good reality check. And so anyway, we thought there's a show there, and so we built a show around that idea that the behind the scenes and these quirky characters that we meet on the road, all these actors, and that's what Kings of Con is.
Nice. And we did have a fan question here because we are live, so do send us your questions. Will it be available outside of the U.S.?
Yes, I know that Comic-Con is aware that a lot of our fans are outside the U.S., so they're going to make it available to everyone. And and it's also going to be available. You'll be able to watch the Comic-Con HQ app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon. So all these other sort of locations are going to have it too, which is going to be awesome. Yeah.
Is it going to Android?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, sure.
Listen, we were talking earlier about our phones, and he's an iPhone person. Uh-huh. I have an Android. Uh-huh. So for all us Android users out there, let's look out for that. You can always go to the website too. So
yeah, go to Comic-Con HQ. So comic-conhq.com.
Nice.
But yeah, no, when you said that, I was like, that was the first time where I was like, I have the wrong phone. I need to move over.
So you guys you and Richard were traveling around and swapping stories. What story comes to mind the most?
Well, our show is a scripted show. It's, there are nuggets of reality in it, and then of course we sort of weave it into a comic tapestry. You know what I mean? But in every episode there's like, ooh, that really happened. But there's one episode in our show that's based on reality, and that is a story when we went to New Jersey actually for the convention about 3 years ago. We got to the hotel. We're on the 9th floor, and my cell phone ran out of battery, so I called Rich at his room. He was in room 911, and I dialed 911. Yeah. Okay. So I dialed his room, and a voice on the other end goes, 911, what's your emergency? And I thought it was Rich doing a joke, so I was like, haha, Rich, do you want to get a beer? And the guy started shouting, like, what's your emergency, sir? What's your emergency? And I was like, I realized quickly that I dialed 911 because I didn't dial 7 first to get out of the room or whatever. So anyway, long story short, I ended up hanging up on the emergency, going to Rich's room, and I was like, I think I messed up, Rich, I messed up. And I went into his room, and he's like, this is awesome. And we're laughing about it, and then boom, 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 there's a knock at the door, and it's the cops that have come to his room.
Oh,
because they'll do that. If you hang up on 911 emergency, they'll come. So the cops showed up at his door and were like, "Home." I hadn't been in New Jersey 20 minutes, and there are cops at my door. So anyway, that's a story that we play out in our show.
Yeah, but if you play God on TV
Yeah.
and then you have this real life situation, do you ever like use that as weight and throw it around?
Yeah, I feel like if I said to the New Jersey police, "But I'm God," I'd get a one-way ticket to the station. But yeah, it was funny. And they were like, "Well, we need to see your room because they just needed to check it out." And I remember walking down to my room and thinking, like, "Oh my God, do I have a dead body in my room? Am I packing heroin? I can't remember. Like, I thought for sure I had done something wrong." But we cleaned out. We didn't go to the station. We were good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And we actually have a good question from Kayla Nelson. She wants to know who would be your most sought after guest star on the show. Who would you want to have?
Well, we are lucky because we have some great guest stars, some supernatural actors, some actors that we've worked with before, and I'm not allowed to say right now, but you have to watch the show.
Secret.
But some really fun guest stars, come watch and see. But yeah, Rich and I have worked. I've been fortunate enough to work in the biz for a while, and so we've accumulated a bunch of actors that have stepped up and done us favors by being on the show. But for season 2, if there is one, we have a list of, like I'm friends with Peter Dinklage. I would love for him to come on. Yeah. He's one of my favorite people.
He's awesome.
I'd love to have him come on. I don't know. I mean, everybody. I want everybody. I want
literally everybody,
anyone,
like even in the chat, right?
Yes, everyone in this chat room. I want you to be on my show. I mean, that's the great thing about it, is that Rich and I also want to make this show because, this is a career where you don't have a lot of control, right? You just you audition, but you don't have a lot of like, I want to do this now, But fortunately, the day and age we're living in now, you can actually you can do it yourself. And we thought, well, I'd made a movie before. Rich is a director, and we knew how to write and direct and produce a show. So we're like, let's do this. And with the help of our fans who really got it off the ground, because we did this Indiegogo campaign, we were able to launch a show and catch the eye of Lionsgate and Comic-Con, who then brought us onto their network.
Yeah, and I love that you brought up the Indiegogo campaign because this was such a great funded project.
Yeah.
And what does that say about the Supernatural fan base?
I mean, I can't say enough about this fan base. They're just so supportive. They're supportive of all of us and of each other. It really is like nothing else. It's hard to explain to people who are outside this group of people how truly loving and supportive they are. And so when we went on Indiegogo, which is not something we really like to do, we'd never done that before, but we felt like we were in a position where we wanted to attract attention to our project. We wanted to get eyes on it. We didn't want it to be something we made and made ourselves laugh and then it sat in the garage. We really wanted it to be something. And they were amazing, and we raised a good deal of money in a very short amount of time, and it was mind-blowing. So, no, they truly are. They're the reason that Supernatural's still on the air. I mean, truly.
Yes.
I mean, I've been on shows before the interweb existed. And, it didn't used to happen like that. When you loved a show and it just got canceled after one season, there's nothing you could do about it. And now, people are listening to Twitter, people are listening to social media.
Yeah, and let's talk about the big Supernatural fan base, because I have to be honest, when the show first aired, I didn't watch Supernatural, but going on Tumblr and Twitter and seeing all of the great, GIFs or GIFs?
Sure, GIFs.
And all of the memes that just kind of pulled me in, and I had to figure out, who is this moose? What is this?
Yeah.
So finally watching the show. With that said, you guys traveling through the conventions, you said you meet a lot of fans who, they get the reputation of being crazy, but that's the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's an old school an old school theory, that even the word nerd and all that stuff, it just doesn't apply anymore. Everyone's fan of something. You know what I mean? And Rich and I always say that there's fans of a TV show are no different than fans of a baseball game. You know what I mean? I watched the Cubs win last night in a crowded bar, and everybody's going absolutely crazy. It's, you know what I mean? And no one goes like, wow, nerds. You know what I mean? Like, they're sports fans, and it's no different. And yeah, these people that I get to see and meet are lovely, very, people who are responsible, smart people that just that love this show, and I love that they love it, and I love and people meet each other. It's like-minded people who gather enjoy a certain thing, you know.
Yeah, and then going back to the show, how much of it is going to be scripted versus how much is ad-lib?
Right, so it's, you know, we very carefully wrote 10 episodes, and, you know, they kind of came out of Rich and me improvising with each other. And we, you know, edited and so by the time we got to shooting, it was pretty well scripted. We also wrote several characters for specific actors, and so, you know, inevitably there was a little bit of, you know, improvising, mostly with Rich and I. Scenes that we were in together, we would sometimes go, you know, off the reservation a bit, but for the most part, it's scripted. And it was a joy. It was a joy to write these words for certain people that I can't say right now, but who came in and just, you know, it was like a home run. They got it. The words fit in their mouth, and it truly was amazing. I'm so excited for everybody to see it.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see it either. And you've known Richard for a few years now, but is there something surprising you learned about him while making this project?
Yeah, he's really just not a good person. He's not nice. It's really difficult. No, you know, the cool thing is Rich and I, we quickly found out when we started working together at these conventions, they would pair us together on stage, and we quickly found out that we work really well together, and we're very like-minded people, and we became, you know, fast friends quickly. So no, I mean, it was actually fun to watch him direct. He directed the episodes, and that's something that he actually does. He's actually going to be directing his second episode of Supernatural this month. Yeah, so he's legit a director, and so that was kind of just fun to watch him do his thing, to do that thing, you know. So I enjoyed watching that. It's very admirable, you know, to see someone do something like that. I mean, someday, sure, directing would be something I'd like to try out, but I'm happy being a writer and actor, and so I love sitting back going, oh, wow, he's really good at that, you know.
Nice. And will there be a musical episode?
You know, we are talking about a musical episode. Is that something someone asked?
Someone asked that. Oh, yes, you have really, really awesome fans.
Yeah, we are planning a musical episode for season 2, so stand by. And I'll also say that, you know, I'm in a band called Loud and Swain, and we play a lot of music in the show. So we play the theme song, and we have a couple songs during the show that, you know, pepper the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to get a little sample of your singing right now.
Yeah.
Let's go with a guilty pleasure. Can you sing a guilty pleasure? Just a chorus, maybe?
Can I sing a guilty pleasure?
Is it like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift?
What would be my guilty pleasure? Oh, you know, I like the 21 Pilots. I like those guys.
Oh, yeah. Ride?
Yeah, Ride's good. Wait.
Get in my car and ride.
What about, what's the song they do for the soundtrack to the movie with all the bad guys that get together? The Suicide Squad. Yeah. What's that song called? Heathens, yeah.
Heathens. Oh, God.
How's that go?
I have no idea how it goes. I do not remember. I'm sorry. I blocked out everything Suicide Squad since I've seen so many Harley Quinn.
Yeah. The heathens, don't you know? I can't think of the words.
It's all good though. I like the. Did you guys hear the vocal cords on this man?
Yeah, a lot of people. You know, I sing at the conventions, so you know they have heard me sing and stuff.
Are you going to be singing this weekend in Jersey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've constructed this kind of show within the show where Rich is the host, I'm kind of the co-host, and my band plays the whole weekend. So it's kind of like the Kimmel show or something, you know, where he's like the host and we're playing in the band. We're like, hey, it's Rich Spate, and Rich comes out, and then Saturday night my band does a big, huge show, like a Loud and Swain show, and then we have actors pop on and guest star on some songs. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, so like Jensen Ackles sang 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, and Rich sings. Mark Shepard plays the drums. Like a lot of musically inclined people in the cast. So
yeah, like very talented cast.
It's super
Do you know
cool.
who's going to be singing with you this weekend?
This weekend, Brianna Buckmaster is going to be singing. Kim Rhodes, Matt Cohen, Richard Spate. Yeah, so a lot of actors.
You're getting a lot of great people.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, speaking of conventions, did you end up growing up? Did you go to conventions?
No, I really didn't. I'm not like this. You know, I went to other little. I grew up in a college town, so there were like, I remember going to like sort of events at the college. You know what I mean? but
Wait,
not.
of age or underage?
What do you mean? What kind of events?
What kind of events were these?
No. No, totally legit. It was like a university, and no, I remember. This is gonna sound really weird, but a friend of mine, his mom was really into quilting. So I remember going to a quilting convention at the college. So that was my first convention. Was a quilting convention.
Wait, what does one do at a quilting convention?
I worked. So I was getting people water and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I guess they just looked and they're like, "Hey, that's a cool quilt. Look at my quilt." So it was like that.
Do you think you'll incorporate that into the show?
Probably. Now that I say it out loud, it feels ridiculous enough that it needs to be a convention. It needs to be an episode. But yeah, no, and that's why I had never really gone to anything like this. That's why, when I went to my first Supernatural convention, I don't know. So on the show, my character goes to a convention because he's the writer of the show. And so they have it's very meta, but there's a convention for his books. So Chuck goes to this convention, right? And then I had never been to a convention before when I shot that. And then the week that aired, it's 2009, 2010, I went to my first convention, and I was terrified. I was just terrified. Yeah, I was just so scared. I didn't know what to expect, And I walked, and my character was terrified in the show. So it literally was wow,
Life
it's just
meets
yes,
art.
What's real. So
that's great.
Yeah, that was.
Guys, we have time for one more question, so make it really good. We're scanning. We're looking at the computer right now, looking for that great question. I have "You're cute and adorable."
Thank you.
And hashtag QuiltCon. Listen, QuiltCon, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
I feel like it's gonna happen.
Hashtag QuiltCon. I want a T-shirt that says hashtag QuiltCon.
Boiled peanuts. Okay, we're getting weird.
Boiled peanuts. I know the boiled peanuts story. Could you sing "She Waits"? "She Waits" is a Loud and Swain song. "Fairly Well" is a song I sang on the show.
Well, I guess I can cap it off with what makes you geek out the most?
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam?
Yeah, that's I get really geeky around Pearl Jam. When they first came out with their first album, I really dug it, and my brother really loved it, and so we would follow them together, and we really loved going to Pearl Jam shows. So that's the thing I sort of equate with the Supernatural convention, watching those fans. I'm that way around Pearl Jam, and I met Eddie Vedder once, and I got really weird.
What did you do? What did you say?
Well, so the story is that I was at this, I met him, I knew someone who knew him, so I was like, let me go. And so I went, and then we were backstage, and it wound up being his dressing room. This is Eddie Vedder, you know what I mean? I'm a member of the fan club, right? So I've got stickers and stuff, I've got badges. So I'm in his dressing room, and it's him and another person and me. There are 8 people in the room. And so he's talking this way, and he's got cigarettes. He's smoking a cigarette. I don't really smoke, but I wanted to talk to him, so I wanted to ask him for a cigarette. But I chickened out last minute. I said to the person next to me, "Hey, ask Eddie for a cigarette." And she was like, "Why don't you ask him yourself?" And I was like, "I'm shy." And then he, on the other side of her, just goes like this and passes me the cigarettes without looking at me. So he heard me.
Oh, no.
And that was awesome. I was like, wow, no, he really heard me. So,
you're my favorite person.
Yeah, totally. So then he handed me the cigarettes, and then I coughed as I tried to smoke it. I'm like, thanks. And that was it. That was all we ever did. Just, yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
That's great. Yeah. He's just like you guys.
Yeah.
He fans out too. Well, thank you so much. When can we start seeing episodes?
Right, so November 15th, Comic-Con HQ. And it's, so go there and you'll figure out they'll tell you how to watch the show, but that's the destination. And starting the 15th, and then they'll roll out episodes starting from there. And we've got 10 episodes in the first season. And and we have a new trailer that's going to be live today. So go to comic-conhq.com for everything Kings of Con.
Awesome. You heard it here. Go check it out. November 15th. New trailer in a few hours at comic-con. Wait.
I know, I keep doing it too. comic-conhq.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
And keep looking out on Twitter as well. Hashtag, what is it? Where's Where's Rich?
Where's Rich?
Where's Rich?
Where's Rich? Yes, and also, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and everything. Kings of Con. We're out there.
Awesome. And you can also, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow them.
Facebook at The Mary Sue. Thank you guys again for joining us. Until next time, bye.
Bye.